Okay, cool. Good evening. I'm joking. The time is 3:53. I'm currently in London. And I've been thinking about what have I been thinking about? What have I been thinking? I've been thinking about recently the fact that I don't know. I feel like recently I've been very the dunya, so the world has once again showed me its true colors, and it's not showed me its true colors in by meaning like, oh, something bad has happened recently, but I've been reliving old traumatic experiences in my life. I don't like the word trauma, but whatever, we move. And I've felt a lot of pain from past things based on me just thinking about them. Because I have a philosophy. I think it actually is a philosophy or like a method of thinking. Basically, I have this thing where if something hurts you, it's so dumb. If something hurts you, you should. So let's say someone betrays you, yeah. What I'll do is I'll sit down in my room. I'll sit down in my room and I will make the feeling. I'll make the betrayal 100,000 times worse than what it actually was, and make myself feel more pain than I actually need to. The reason why I do this, I think it's called immersion. Is it immersion therapy? I think it is. I think it's called immersion therapy, when you force yourself to deal with something, and then from doing that, suddenly what actually hurt you is like, it seems like the smallest thing. Like, imagine if I was worried about something. Let's say someone was gonna beat me up, yeah. No one can beat me up. Let's say someone's gonna beat me up, but let's say I pushed it to the extreme of like, oh, they're gonna kill me, they're gonna torture me, they're gonna do this, and I pushed it all the way to this like this ridiculous like length. Suddenly, the idea of getting beat up doesn't sound bad. It's like, oh, is that it? Do you know what I mean? So for me, I do it with a lot of things. Like, let's say a certain type of heartbreak, in terms of, and it's not always female, like it's not always a relationship heartbreak. You can get your heart broken by your parents, you can get your heart broken by life in general. But in this regard, I'm just saying, yeah. So so I've been doing that, and I've relived a lot of things in order to feel that pain again. I don't know why. Maybe I'm a masochist. but yeah. So I've been doing this thing, but what I've learnt from it, and what it's reminded me of that I forgot, and I think we all forget sometimes, is the true nature of this world, and the true nature of this dunya. I'm not going to say dunya because it's going to make it sound like a Dao video, and it's not one of those things, but the true nature of this world. And I've found this thing that any time I chase the world, or I, let's say, abandon Allah, so I'm chasing the world, I'm chasing women, or I'm chasing money, or I'm chasing status, or I'm chasing anything that I've separated Allah from, even though you can't separate Allah from anything. But I'm saying, with these things, I'm chasing the world. I'm chasing external validation from other people or other things or whatever it is. And every single time I've done that in my life, it has caused me some form of pain. And every time I'll turn to Allah. Every time I get hurt, I'm like this. No, fuck you, world. You hurt me. I'm going back to Allah, because Allah's always got me. Allah's always good to me. And then there was this what I think I was speaking to my friend Briggs, and I just said to him one time, and I just said, so I was just thinking, like, you know how when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he ascended the seven heavens, he was in the presence of Allah, and in that presence of Allah, Allah gave him the prayer to take back to the world. And I was just thinking with it, I was like, okay, so if anything, that prayer is almost like a representation of going back to the presence of Allah, like returning to Allah when you've strayed or when you've gone too far. into like the world or forgetfulness of him. And then I was thinking, I was like, why do we leave? Like, what makes us want to leave? It makes no sense. Why would I ever leave the presence of Allah? And I think I said it to him, like I said it to Breeze. I was like, what, like, but we don't need to leave. Every time we leave, we get hurt, and then we come back and we remind ourselves that, oh yeah, this is reality, this is the truth, and we enjoy it. We find this form of peace, and we find this form of comfort and love, and then we just fucking go out again. I'm just thinking, like, why do we do this? I don't say we. Okay, I say we. I'm talking about myself. I do it all the time. I know, based on my previous life decisions, which led me to be in one of the darkest parts of my life, i.e. suicide and depression, when I had money, I had women, I had status or whatever, or respect or whatever you want to call it, and I still had this emptiness, this empty feeling within my soul. And then I returned back to Allah about 5, 6 Ramadans ago, and in that return I found this love, this peace, this knowledge, this happiness that I've never almost felt before, because the dunya can't give it. The dunya is merely just it's a facade. It's literally an illusion. Like, imagine like anyone that's had, no, not to expose any sins, but anyone that's had sex, or anyone that's had anyone that's got something that they've been chasing for like many years or days or whatever. Because that's what the world is. You chase it. You chase this thing. You chase this high. You chase this girl. You chase this thing. And once you get it, once you've got your hands on it, or you've post-nut clarity, that's one of the things. Once you've got it, you're just there and you're like, oh, this is dead. And for me, I was speaking to one of my other friends the other day. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to expose anyone. But I was basically just telling him, I said, you know what's mad? I said, I'm so bored of this world. I said, not that I was, okay, I'm not going to go into my mental health, or like from the first episode, but we'll get there. But I was just saying, I said, I'm so bored of everything. I said, nothing excites me anymore. I said, you tell me about girls, or you tell me about all this motive, or you tell me about these things, and these things they just don't excite me. I'm just like, yeah, and then what? Like, what happens after? It's like, it's boring for me. And the only happiness or contentment or calmness I get is when I'm in the presence of Allah. Now, that doesn't always mean being in prayer. Even reflection of Allah is like dhikr of Allah it can bring that state within me where I'm just contemplating whatever. And I remember I just thought of this little analogy that I'm going to share with you, because I thought it was quite funny when I said it. But it's like you have two girls, or for the women you have two guys. But for me, I'm a straight male, so we're just going to go say. So let's say you had two girls. You had Layla and you have Jasmine. Now, I like both of these names, which is good because it also goes with the analogy. So in this instance, we'll say Allah is like Layla represents Allah and Jasmine represents the dunya, yeah? Or Jasmine represents the world. Dunya means like this world. And Layla, I got the names mixed up then. Layla loves me unconditionally. Layla has never hurt me in my life. She is the ride or die. She is she is the, like, if that concept even existed, the one. She is the one. She has never let me down. She's always there to say what I need. She's always there at the right time. And the more I need her, the more she steps up and rises to the occasion of giving me what I need. And then you've got Jasmine. Little hoe. I'm joking. Then you got Jasmine. Every time you go to Jasmine, at the beginning, Jasmine offers a bit of excitement because she looks a certain way or whatever, and you're like, oh, let's go see Jasmine. Let's move to Jasmine. But every time you go to Jasmine, you get hurt. And I'm not talking like, oh, stub your toe. Actually, no, stub your toe is quite bad hurt. I'm not saying like, oh, a little slap on the wrist hurt. Like, I'm saying like, no, like she leaves you broken, distraught. You cannot Food, you don't want to eat it. Food has lost its taste. You don't want to go out. The color has lost its vibrance or whatever. Like, life just seems dead. Every time you go to Jasmine, that's what happens to you. After a while, you'd be a fool to pick Jasmine over Layla. You'd be an idiot. Even your friends would tell you you're an idiot. And I'm sure a lot of you have friends that you keep going back to certain exes that do this. But I'm saying, but in terms of this, it's like, why would you not just go to Layla and stay with her? Because the trick is, and the thing is, because obviously people's desires are attached with Jasmine, so they care what Jasmine thinks about them, the world. They care what Jasmine thinks. They care about these things. And the thing is, when you're in a close relationship with Jasmine, anything Jasmine does will hurt you even more because you're so close to Jasmine. You're like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're so invested in Jasmine. You're so in love with Jasmine that when Jasmine rejects you, or when Jasmine does something that is just within her nature of doing, because that's what her nature is. Sorry. Is to hurt you. Because you're so close with Jasmine, it scars you. It hurts you. So what happens when you turn to Layla? But I'm not talking like a turn where you just turn and you're just there for until Layla like builds you back up and then you go back to Jasmine. Because that's what we do. That's what I do. Layla, I go back to Layla. Layla picks me up. Layla, she cleans my cuts, tells me what I need to know. Teaches me lessons every time I go to Jasmine and come back. She goes, okay, this is why this happened. This is why this happened. She teaches me everything. And then I just had this thought. And I said, I'm just gonna go back to Layla, and I'm just gonna stay there, and I'm not gonna come back. I'm not going back to Jasmine, because if I can fall in love with Layla unconditionally, like just fall purely in love with Layla, and what I mean by Layla is I'm talking about God. If I can do that, I won't care what Jasmine thinks anymore. I won't care if she loves me. I won't care if she rejects me. Like, imagine if, imagine you had a girl, you had a guy, you're so in love with them, and then a guy that you don't care about that's in your DMs and like whatever, he or she says, oh, I never liked him anyway, or like Jasmine said to me, oh, I never liked Tumor anyway. For me, it's like, I'm so in love with Layla, I don't even care what you think. Do you know what I mean? So for me, and it's like, yes, it's just this. It's just, and I feel like I've been learning this. So it's Ramadan, if people see it in the future or whatever. It's the Ramadan. It's the first night of I think it's the 21st night tonight, which is pretty cool. But anyway, maybe that's why I was inspired to make this video. You never know. but yeah, like I was just I've just decided I'm gonna go back to Allah, and I'm not gonna leave. And I'm just gonna stay there, and then that may look weird to people that are in love with Jasmine, because Jasmine's got whatever she's got, but again, it's just an illusion anyway. and that may look weird to people, but that's okay, because that's one of Jasmine's tricks as well. Because everyone is chasing Jasmine, you fall into the thought of, oh, Jasmine must be the prize then, when it's not. It's always been Layla. What the fuck was that? Okay, it's that fox. I don't know what the fox is. Yeah, I know, whatever. See, look, Jasmine's trying to distract me. But it's like, it's always been Layla. Layla has always been the one that's always been there for me. Allah has always been there for me. Never left, never changed. He has been the constant in an inconstant world. And I don't know, I feel like, especially in this day and age, consistency is what is the main thing that we need in an inconsistent world. It's inconsistent, yeah, where stuff's changing all the time, etc. It's like you need that thing to ground you, to anchor you, to keep you sane, to keep you calm. And for me, that anchor. And the thing is, for many of maybe people listening, it's like maybe you have something else. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's this. And that's fine, and if that's your thing, that's your thing. But for me, it's like my thing is God. My thing is Allah. My thing is Layla. Why I'm not like, why would I shoot myself in the foot? I've found what it is. I know what it is. And the thing is, if you're Muslim as well, we all know what it is. We all know what it is, and it's this reality. But anyway, that was just a little thought I had. Tell me if you enjoy these type of videos. It's going to be a bit more personal, a bit more. Again, this maybe this was a bit long-winded, a bit maybe a bit long-winded, maybe a bit like, oh, it's a bit waffling a bit, but I'm trying to keep, I didn't want to like, because I was going to make points and then like make it a really nice video, but I thought like, no, I just want to come here and take the mask off a bit. And again, even now, I say take the mask off, I'm fully wearing a mask because I will never let anyone see the true side of myself, like the true Umar. I think there's a Chinese saying when it says we wear 3 masks. The mask that we show, I think the first mask, the mask that we show to everyone, like the whole world and everything. The second mask is the mask that we show those close to us, and it says then we have the third mask, and it says that's the face, that's our true self, and it's the one we don't show to anyone. I believe there's a fourth one, which is like an actual nice one, and then maybe we should show that a bit more, but anyhow. But yeah, this is the first video. Tell me if you like it. This is just me. I'm gonna maybe do this once a week. Again, a lot more music coming out after Ramadan. I'm gonna again keep on really, because for me, my music is it's a service to the world, and I really need to double down on it. And even this is a service, and maybe this helps someone, maybe it doesn't. But if it does, then just know that it's Allah that's inspired me. It's inspired these words, and all credit and all thing goes to Him. And any mistakes I've made or anything wrong I've said or offended anyone, it came from my own ego, and I apologize for that. So, assalamu alaikum. Tell me if you like these videos. And we'll just keep it moving from here, and we'll see what the future holds. This Ramadan has been really good for me, and I want to take this. I want to take it forward. But yeah, peace. Oh, they are pretty good.